Welcome back to the Codi Bigsby case. This is part 2. And I found a little bit more stuff for you. So we're going to jump right into that. But before we do, I want to make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, and comment. You dig? So we're going to start this thing off, jumping right into this first news clip. I'll check it out.
Also tonight, frustration is mounting in the search for 4-year-old Codi Bigsby.
Police are saying just a little bit, but the boy's mother has something to say. As we've told you, the focus of the search itself has changed over the last several days. What people in the neighborhood want is more information from police. 10 News 9's Brett Hall has more on that, as well as the statement from Codi's mother. Brett?
Tom and Anita, frustration seemingly present for all involved at this point. But tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from Codi Bigsby's mother. Now, we are not naming her right now, as she is not accused of doing anything wrong. And according to Hampton's police chief, she is not a person of interest in Codi's disappearance. But she wants the community to hear something from her. Tonight, the question for the last 11 days remains the same. Where is Codi Bigsby? Searches by police and community members continue in Hampton as the 4-year-old's picture is shared far and wide. The goal? Just bring Codi home. Codi's mother telling 10 on Your Side in her first statement since her son's disappearance. She appreciates all everyone is doing. She says in part, "It truly warms my heart. I am praying for the safe return of my baby boy. Codi, I hope the public and the community understand and respect my position during this tragic time." The statement went on to say she is reluctant to say more about the situation at the advice of legal counsel. She alluded to possible involvement in the legal case. No charges have been filed in Codi's disappearance, but his father, Codi Bigsby, is currently behind bars on child neglect charges that stemmed from the police department's investigation. Still, the community wants more answers. Hampton Police Chief Mark Talbot telling City Council last night.
I want to start by thanking you all for not being a distraction throughout a very long and difficult investigation.
He says detectives are focused on getting it right.
The evidence about what likely occurred has been very clear. There's little about this that has been mysterious.
Codi Bigsby was transferred to the Hampton Roads Regional Jail in Portsmouth today. He'll be there until at least the end of the month, awaiting a bond appeal hearing. His attorney tells us that he's hopeful Bigsby will be released so he can assist in the search for his son.
Now, if you saw part 1, you heard me mention Codi's mom and how I felt about it, and I still feel the same way. She haven't seen her son in about a year. She dropped Codi off to her dad a year ago. The way she found out her son was missing was she was contacted by law enforcement. So that doesn't change anything. Now, they did mention that she's not a person of interest. Cool. I'm glad. But why they won't mention her name? I have my thoughts. I have my ideas. Matter of fact, let me go back and play something and let you hear what I just heard.
I hope the public and the community understand and respect my position during this tragic time. The statement went on to say she is reluctant to say more about the situation at the advice of legal counsel.
Now, it was stated she's not a person of interest. But she wants us to understand her place of position in this case. Her lawyer advised her not to speak. I'm trying to figure out why she lawyered up already. She don't even live with Codi. She haven't had these kids. I'm going to tell you one thing that y'all might not know. Take a look at this. Now, I know you might say, well, that's just simple assault. Well, it was against a woman. And me personally, if you put your hands on a woman once, you'll do it again. And another thing, that makes you a coward in my eyes. But no, we don't know what happened, but he was charged. He was charged. So let's think about this. If he put his hands on Codi's mom, she might be participating and helping in this investigation. I truly think Codi is guilty of something because of the way he treat his kids. He leave them at home by themselves. Everything is pointing at this dude. But I also think the mom knows something. Think about what the police keep saying. Matter of fact, let me just play this clip real quick, just to remind you.
The evidence about what likely occurred has been very clear. There's little about this that has been mysterious.
Now, in part one, you heard him say his story didn't add up to what the evidence showed. Okay, that's one. And as they continue with this case, they're finding more and more evidence that's pointing at Corey. So I think they're just stacking it up right now. And eventually, they're going to have enough evidence to charge him with murder if Codi is dead. I praise not, though. Now, real quick, I just want to go back to something I heard in the news. I want to see if y'all catch it. Take a look at this.
Codi is an African-American child. He is about 3.5 feet tall. He has a medium complexion, and he's believed to be dressed in all black, and he may be wearing Spider-Man flip-flops.
Now, you may be wondering, what's so important about those shoes he had on? Because his dad said the last time he seen him was 2 a.m. I'm pretty sure he was in bed. Do he sleep with flip-flops on? Fuck no. So what that tells me is he took Codi out that house with those flip-flops on. You feel me? Because why would you say he possibly had on flip-flops? You think that boy got out his bed, put his shoes on, and took a stroll down the street? No. Y'all remember Corey's sister, right? The one who says she knows her brother is innocent. He wouldn't do anything to hurt little Codi. Man, y'all ain't gonna believe what I just found just doing research today and finding my clips. Man, let me show y'all this. Listen to this chick.
Do you believe that your brother is innocent? What can we say to have you defend him?
There's nothing I can say about that at this time. I think Codi is alive and well. We just need to find him.
When is the last time you saw Codi?
That is irrelevant.
Yo, shit, yeah.
The fuck you mean that's irrelevant? Huh? Somebody help me figure that out, please. Bad choice of words, or did she just slip up? I'm gonna go with bad choice of words for 400, Alex.
If I knew where he is, I would have found him by now.
So you can understand what he was saying clearly.
If I knew where he is, I would have found him by now.
I'm not even gonna say what I want to say. We gonna keep it moving. But I will say this. If she wasn't a suspect, she possibly just became one. Just for her stupidity. If she wasn't supposed to talk to the media, she shouldn't even responded. You gonna say the last time you saw him is not relevant. Lord have mercy. All right, a couple of updates. The other day they were searching and one of the neighbors actually found a kid's jacket. Now we know Codi had on all black with his Spider-Man flip-flops. Now the police did go out there to the scene to investigate. They took the jacket. There's no confirmation yet on it. But of course, remember, we know he had on all black. This was like a jean jacket from what I seen. But I will keep you guys informed. You better believe that. Any updates come up about the jacket, I will come back and let you guys know what I find out.
Right now at 6, investigation issues hit the Codi Bigsby case. A confession from the police chief that something has gone wrong.
Tonight, where that process hit a snag and how police are now course correcting going forward in the case. We do say good evening to you and thanks for joining us. We begin at 6 with a bump along the way in the Codi Bigsby disappearance probe.
Police have removed a detective connected to that investigation. The revelation came out today as the case goes into its 3rd week. And tonight, the police chief explains what happened during the questioning of Codi's father, Corey, and why he says that part of the case was mishandled but can continue on without issue. We're also talking to the mayor of Hampton about the continuing search for Codi. We have 2 reports on this story tonight, beginning with 10 on Your Side's Aisha Tolliver, and more from police. Aisha.
Well, Tom, Anita, this changes a lot in this investigation. Hampton Police Chief Mark Talbot says now there's a new lead detective on the case, as well as an entirely new leadership team taking over. But now the big question is, because of this mistake, are these child neglect charges that Bigsby's facing still going to stand? As the search for missing 4-year-old Codi Bigsby continues, the Hampton Police Chief Mark Talbot says a weekend audit revealed a mishandling of the case. Talbot says while Codi's dad, Codi Bigsby, was being questioned by the lead detective the morning of February 1st, he made a statement about wanting an attorney.
My assessment is that his desires should have been honored. They weren't.
Talbot says that request was made during a heated conversation with the detective following the results of a polygraph test Bigsby agreed to. Now he says the lead detective, who's been with the division for 11 years, is on paid leave and is no longer involved in the case.
We also, frankly, had a case here in which an experienced detective is doing his job, has done great work throughout his career, and to some degree you want to be able to rely upon that. All that broke down somehow.
How are city officials feeling about this mistake? We caught up with Hampton Mayor Donnie Tuck right outside the police station.
The effort by the chief to clarify it, to admit that a mistake was made, and then to tell you how we expect to proceed is, reflection of integrity of our chief.
Despite the mistakes that were made, Talbot says he believes the 7 felony child neglect charges are sound and based on evidence gathered before Bigsby's request for an attorney. But he says ultimately that decision is up to the Commonwealth's attorney. Well, I spoke to the Commonwealth's attorney, Anton Bell. He says he's aware of everything and his team is actively investigating. He says soon they will have all of the tapes and they're going to go through those very thoroughly. And we also reached out to the defense attorney, but we have not heard back yet.
Now, I think we all know how that actually happened. It's not rocket science. They was trying to force a confession out this man. And they didn't want to hear nothing about no goddamn attorney. We all know that's not a mistake. This has been in the Constitution forever. Y'all know that. It's the 6th Amendment, people. They know he know that. At least I hope they did. Because if they didn't think this man didn't know that, they should have been employed. Everybody know that's their right. Don't talk. Shut up. Hey, let me see my lawyer, man. At that point, the interview is over. You don't have to say nothing. They get up and walk. They don't have nothing on you, you walk out the door with it. You feel what I'm saying? We know that. So, we had some macho man who's, using that power trip again. See, I guess they didn't know they had somebody that was solid for the community and not living by the blue code, if you know what I mean. Now, whenever I look into a case, I always look at law enforcement to see if they're doing their job. Since I've been on this case, they've been doing everything professional. Unfortunately, there's gonna always be a bad apple out of a bunch. Doesn't necessarily mean they gotta spoil the whole bunch, but this was handled like it should have been handled. Salute the Chief Mark Talbot for being A1, for informing the community before somebody just find out. And then you heard the mayor. He saluted Talbot as well because he handled it the right way. People tend to think doing things the right way is so hard. You will get more respect for admitting your shortcomings than hiding them and then getting caught. Now, I ain't gonna lie, it kind of worried me for a moment because I thought this dude was gonna get off on a technicality, which that ain't no damn technicality. That was bullshit. But as Talbot said, the evidence that was provided to them by Corey was given prior to the bullshit that the detective pulled. So Corey will still sit until his next court date. They feel like the evidence will stick, but of course they still have to wait for the Commonwealth attorney. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I think I done spent enough of your time. Stay tuned for part 3. I'm not done. You feel me? Corey, you heard what that man said to you, right?
Man to man, father to father. Come on out with the truth, bro.